Lesson 5, vRealize Operations Manager. After this lesson, you should be able to identify the VMware vRealize Operations Manager architecture, explain how to deploy and configure a vRealize Operations Manager appliance, use alerts and badges to monitor the vSphere environment. About vRealize Operations. VMware vRealize Operations provides operations management across physical, virtual, and cloud infrastructures from vSphere and Hyper-V to Amazon Web Services. vRealize Operations correlates data from applications to storage in a unified management tool that is easy to use. vRealize Operations provides control over performance, capacity, configuration, with predictive analytics driving proactive action and policy-based automation. vRealize Operations includes the following products. VMware vRealize Operations Manager. This provides the operations dashboards, performance analytics, and capacity optimization capabilities needed to manage dynamic virtual and cloud environments. VMware vRealize Configuration Manager. This automates configuration management across virtual and physical servers, increasing efficiency by eliminating manual, time-consuming work. VMware vRealize Hyperic. This monitors physical hardware resources, operating systems, middleware, and applications. VMware vRealize Infrastructure Navigator automatically discovers and visualizes application and infrastructure dependencies. At a high level, vRealize Operations encapsulates the analytics that can draw from several data sources. VMware partners such as EMC are building extensions to provide visibility into VNX and other storage arrays. vRealize Operations Manager also has native monitoring capabilities to feed vSphere operating system and application data into the analytics component. The analytics component drives proactive alerts, dashboards, recommendations, and remediation workflows. The integrated management capabilities work like modules that add more functionality to the suite's platform. vRealize Operations supports management capabilities for virtual and physical infrastructures. The platform also supports virtual machines running on other hypervisors and public clouds such as Amazon. About vRealize Operations Manager. Operations Manager is the foundation of the suite and provides visibility and insights into performance, capacity, and the health of your environment. vRealize Operations Manager offers the following benefits: comprehensive cloud operations console, end-to-end operations visibility, reduced mean time to investigate and resolve issues across the entire environment, and integrated compliance. Operations Manager gives you the whole picture of your environment so you can have an accurate understanding of your overall performance, health, and availability. Accurate identification of navigation to the cause, and a real understanding of what is normal behavior in your environment. Ops Manager collects performance data from each object at every level of your environment. Ops Manager stores and analyzes the data and uses the analysis to provide real-time information about issues, potential issues anywhere in your environment. Cloud Operations Console. Here's what the console looks like. We have our Home button, or a Home tab. This provides a unified view of the cloud operations across the entire infrastructure. Alerts. This is a list of current and building issues with recommendations and remedial actions. The environment. This provides your access to the inventory's objects such as applications, VMs, storage, networking, resource pools, hosts, and clusters. Content. This provides access to all content that is produced by VMware or third-party vendors. Content can include dashboards, views, reports, alert definitions, symptom definitions, and supermetrics, and so on. Administration. This is what you use to perform administrative tasks with Ops Manager, such as setting up the product installation of other solutions that integrate with it, the licensing, and user access configuration. Operations visibility. When we dig inside of it in the environment, we see our health right here. These are immediate issues. These are emerging issues that could be coming up. That's the proactive management piece of it. Opportunities to optimize so we can increase efficiency. We'll see that right there. And coverage across the entire environment. You can see right there it's pointing to the network folder where we can see other pieces of the network. And this is a top health alert. Host memory contention is contributing to degraded health. You can click this alert to investigate the issue. So it'll show you your top health alerts that you can click on and it'll take you right to it, see how to resolve it. Reduce the time to investigate and resolve issues. Alerts reduce the time to investigate and issues. So you see the alert that, oh, there's a problem, I can see it right there. Recommendations reduce the mean time to resolve the issue. So when you see the alert, it'll give you a recommendation of what you can do to alleviate the problem. vRealize Operations Manager Installation Overview. Ops Manager can be installed in the following forms: on a virtual appliance, which is SUSE Linux Enterprise Server based, on a Red Hat Linux Enterprise System, on a Windows server. The same software stack is used for virtual appliance, Linux, and Windows installations. For Red Hat 6, it starts with version 6.5 is what the requirement is. For Windows, you need Windows Server 2008 R2 Service Pack 1 or higher. Installation prerequisites. Before you install the software, perform the prerequisite task. You need to ensure you have adequate server capacity to deploy Ops Manager. You need to determine the vCenter server inventory location for your node. Ensure that the networking requirements are met. Reserve a static IP for the Ops Manager node. And determine the network time protocol source for synchronizing the master node. And ensure that you are using a supported web browser version. Deploying the vRealize Operations Manager node. Ops Manager consists of one or more nodes in a cluster. To create a node, you download and deploy the operations virtual machine once for each cluster node. You can deploy the Ops Manager from the vCenter server system, and you create a vRealize Ops Manager node by deploying an OVF. That'd be if you're doing the virtual machine install. Each Ops Manager cluster consists of nodes that have certain roles. You have a master node. This node is required. It's the initial node in a cluster. All other nodes are managed by the master node. In a single node installation, the master node must also perform data collection and analysis because it's the only node, and the only place where Ops Manager adapters are installed. The master node performs administration for the cluster and must be online before you configure any other nodes. In addition, the master node must be online before other nodes are brought online. For example, if the entire cluster were offline for any reason, you would need to bring the master node online first. You can have a replica node, and this enables high availability. And the cluster requires that you convert a data node into a replica of the master node. A data node in larger deployments, this is an additional node that has adapters installed to perform collection and analysis. Larger deployments usually include adapters only on data nodes, not on the master or replica node. Remote connector node, and this is a distributed deployment that might require a remote collector node that can navigate firewalls, interface with a remote data source, reduce the bandwidth usage across data centers, or reduce the load on the Ops Manager analytics cluster. Remote collectors only gather objects for the inventory without storing data or performing analysis. Types of installations. After deploying the virtual appliance, you select the type of installation you want to perform, an express installation. You use this option to set up the first node and get the Ops Manager running in the cluster. A new installation, use this option to set up the first node in the Ops Manager cluster, and you can also configure advanced configuration options. The expand an existing installation would be if you wanted to add other nodes to an existing installation. Initial setup for a new installation. You need a password for the admin user account. The certificate, you can provide your own or use the default certificate. The name of the node, and an NTP server. If the NTP server text box is blank, the master node uses an internal clock for timekeeping. The best practice is to set an external NTP server for the master node. Continuing the new installation. After the initial setup is complete, you're automatically logged into the admin user interface as the user admin for the first time. And you can see there's the node name they did for this install. The master node's been installed, and it's right, as you can see, it's currently not started. It's powered off. Viewing the cluster, you can use the administration user interface to verify that the node was added. We can see right here it was added as a data collector. Finishing the installation. To finish the installation, you log into any cluster data node, master replica node, or data node as the admin user, and you complete a one-time process to license the product or use the product evaluation mode. Configuring solutions for objects. To continue with the final steps of your new installation, you add solutions for the kinds of objects that you want to monitor and manage. About the user interface, vRealize Ops Manager has the following user interfaces. An administration interface. This is used to perform initial setup and installation. It's used to perform software updates. It's used only by the Ops Manager administrator. It can be accessed through the IP address or Operations Manager name /admin, and you need an HTTPS on the front because it's over SSL. The product user interface. This is used to monitor the environment for health, risk, and efficiency issues. You can add custom content such as views, dashboards, and reports, and you can administer the vRealize Ops Manager instance. It's used by all vRealize Ops Manager users, and it's accessed through HTTPS, the name of your Ops Manager /vcops-web-ent. Major and minor badges. With the badge identifier system, you can quickly identify good or bad conditions in your vSphere virtual infrastructure. Major badges are health, risk, efficiency. Minor badges are workload, anomalies, and faults. About the home page. The home page appears when you log in. The home page provides access to all your dashboards. The dashboard provides a quick overview of the performance and condition of your virtual infrastructure. Widgets on the recommendations dashboard. A widget is a pane on the dashboard that can visualize the behavior of one or more objects. The recommendations dashboard uses the health, risk, efficiency, and top alerts widgets. vSphere dashboards. These are pre-built dashboards that assist in monitoring resource usage and performance of vSphere clusters, hosts, data stores, and virtual machines. About inventory trees. An inventory tree shows the parent-child relationships between objects. These object relationships are useful when troubleshooting system issues and finding the cause. Inventory trees and tree types are provided by management packs or solutions when they are installed into vRealize Operations Manager. For example, the VMware vSphere solution provides several inventory tree types related to vSphere. Selecting an inventory tree type. Selecting an inventory tree type enables you to see the objects in the inventory tree instances. So we select this, we can see the tree instance objects that are in there, another tree instance, and then its child objects. The root of the vSphere inventory trees is the vSphere world object. That's right here. The vSphere world object consists of all vCenter server instances and their objects. Viewing an object's details. When you select an object in the navigation panes, the object's details appear in the center pane. So if we clicked on alerts, we'd have other objects show up here that we would see details of the alerts. About the administration page. The administration page enables you to configure various aspects of vRealize Operations Manager. So we can do our LDAP sources, our access control, maintenance schedules, and when we'd have maintenance going on to not be monitoring it then, our cluster management, if we're using self-signed or certificates we brought in, outbound alert settings, we configure email sources. You should now be able to identify the VMware vRealize Operations Manager architecture, explain how to deploy and configure a vRealize Operations Manager appliance, and use alerts and badges to monitor the vSphere environment. Key points. For proper resource management, vSphere has mechanisms to enable less, more, or an equal amount of access to a defined resource. vSphere prevents a virtual machine from consuming large amounts of a resource and grants a guaranteed amount of a resource to a virtual machine whose performance is not adequate or requires a certain amount of a resource to run properly. A resource pool enables you to divide and allocate resources to virtual machines and other resource pools. The Performance tab enables you to monitor the performance of a host or a virtual machine in real time or over a period of time. You can use alarms to monitor the vCenter server inventory and send out notifications when selected events or conditions occur. vRealize Operations Manager gives you insight into the performance, capacity, and health of the vSphere environment. If you have any questions, please contact your instructor.